Hello, I'm David Carlisle. I want to welcome you to the MyGuy weekly blog. This week we're going to focus on a press release from AutoMD that really blasts dealers and basically try to tell the story of how service customers are much happier by going to the independents. There's some fact and fiction on this one. I think it'll be an interesting journey. So if you can give me 5 minutes, let's talk about it. Thanks. Okay, let's focus on that press release. And what I'd like to first focus on is some of the graphics. They've got this interesting graphic that says 87% of all their respondents reported that independent shop quotes were more affordable than dealer quotes. And they said that the quotes were comparable. And I have a problem with just trusting the comparability of a telephone quote. In that, are they indeed comparable in terms of the quality of the service, the quality of the part, and the quality of the service guarantees? And I'd say absolutely not. We know that that's not true. So basically, the data is fictitious when we think about the comparability of the quotes. The perception, though, at 87%, I actually believe it. That actually makes sense. There is a wide-scale perception that dealers are more expensive. They also shared some more data with us. They asked a nice leading question of, why do you trust an independent repair shop more than a dealership? I love that. So they basically say, well, why do you trust this guy? And tell me all the reasons why he's wonderful. Number one was, I have a relationship with my local mechanic, and I always take my car there. They used the word mechanic. Okay, obviously, the relationship with mechanics pretty much only exists on the independent side. On the dealership side, they're dealing with service advisors. So we already automatically have a disconnect. But overall, when I look at this, 40% is the number one. I actually do agree with it. There are stronger relationships with the service providers on the outside, the independents, generally than with the dealers, and there's all sorts of trust and perceptions issues. So I believe the 40%. I just don't buy the mechanic as a way of differentiating these perceptions. Number two is, I know I'll get a better price for repairs at an independent repair shop. Again, that's pure perception. That's 29%. Then we go down the list. Even though I could have had them install more expensive automaker parts, they don't dictate that I use them. So that basically they're saying, I'm not gonna push genuine high quality parts on you. I'll give you knockoffs. Well, we know that that's true, but notice it's pretty much down on the list. The mechanics are knowledgeable. They fix all types of vehicle brands, and I trust them that they can fix mine. Okay, I have a hard time understanding that one. It's very low down on the list. Because I think common knowledge is that if you go to a specialist, someone who, a brain surgeon versus a general practitioner, if you've got a brain surgeon kind of problem, you'd be better off. So a specialist in a certain brand of car who's only basically working in a shop that only does that brand of car, everybody knows that they're going to be better prepared, better equipped to do the fix than the generalist. The last one is, they offer the best guarantees. That's 2%. Well, they know it's not true, that the guarantees are absolutely cruddo. The firm that did this is AutoMD. AutoMD is owned by U.S. Auto Parts. It's a huge competitor of franchise dealers, so they're not terribly objective about these sort of things. The gist of when I read the whole press release is that independents are just as good. Well, maybe I think they pose it as independents are better. They're cheaper, they don't push more expensive parts, and they have crappy guarantees for both parts and labor, and they are MyGuys. I agree with the MyGuys. The independents generally are MyGuys, more so than the dealers, and we've got to fix that. Let's compare it to some of the data, though, that we've been pulling for the last several years. And this is just from our 2,000-person survey that we do every year. Channels for the most recent maintenance, looking at 2011, 12, and 13. On the top are the independents, on the bottom are the dealers. And what we've seen, though, is some slippage from 2011 to 2012, down 7 points, and from 2012 to 13, another 2 points. And basically, the dealers have been picking up, as well as the chains, by the way, picking up 2 points from 11 to 12, and another 5 points from 12 to 13. Now, if we bookend this with other research that we've done, and research that's available on the website, We think it's because of dissatisfaction with the overall service from the independent as a consequence of cheap white box parts with crummy guarantees. So the facts that we have don't really jive with this press release from AutoMD. But bottom line, let's kind of just look at a real life example. I went into to Auto Parts Warehouse, owned by U.S. Auto Parts, which also owns AutoMD. I said I got a 2010 Chevy Silverado pickup truck, and let me look at some brake parts. Okay, rotor brake discs, a knockoff. I can get it for $49.07 versus an AC Delco genuine at $105.74. A lot of difference in price there between the two. You have to consider the total picture when you look at this sort of data. Are you looking at a knockoff or are you looking at genuine original? And what's associated with those prices? Is it just all margin or is it higher quality and higher parts and higher services? You have to consider the source here. U.S. Auto Parts is a big independent parts distributor who might be selling those white box parts, those knockoffs, that consumers complain to us in focus groups. Basically, it's a big doubt when you say who's cheaper. The $49 knockoff versus $105 AC Delco genuine. Well, of course the knockoff is cheaper. But is it comparable? I'd say probably not, okay? And when you add on typical dealer service and parts guarantees, the price gap closes considerably. So if you put the quality and you put the guarantees back and bake that into it, it may not be a $49 to $105 differential. What we need to do is you need to do is to merchandise and sell the complete package of what you offer to your service customers. You're offering spectacular brain surgeon mechanics, genuine parts that are of highest possible quality with spectacular parts and service warranties. You're offering everything. With the waiting rooms, you're offering the complete service. We need to package, merchandise, and sell those to every single customer that comes through your service stores. If you don't, phony customer perceptions will continue to eat you up. Thank you very much. See you next week.